Hip-hop moments of clarity.
Hip-hop moments of clarity.
What's up? This is Vanessa Staten, editor-in-chief of Double XL Moments of Clarity. I don't know what episode. Roger might.
9.
Yeah, there we go.
9.
No Wayno today because he sucks, but that's cool.
Shout out to Wayne.
Yeah, but
Shout out Wayno.
JFK,
Free Wayno.
Roger, and Barry are here. And
What up, what up?
what are we talking about? Kanye.
Easy.
No one man should have all that power. That's all I say.
I don't even know what to say of
But he
him.
does.
All right, so Kanye week. Kanye made the comments he did about slavery being a choice. He
Yeah.
also said he got liposuction so that TMZ didn't make fun of him the way they made fun of Rob, but he told that to TMZ. And he said a
Weird.
bunch of stuff. Then he kind of pulled back on Twitter and yesterday ended the night. I didn't see even what he did today. Ended the night with a whole bunch of pictures of a fashion show that he's preparing for. So I guess what we learned this week, besides his feelings on slavery and some other issues, was that more than likely he's putting out a fashion show or a clothing line pretty soon.
Right.
That was my take on it.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Anyway, what are your guys' thoughts on Kanye? Again, week 2.
Seems like all of this is just a vehicle to sell clothes. Like
Do
we
you
were talking about
think?
earlier. You
Yeah.
know?
Do you think?
I
mean, is that really it is? Like, we're joking about it, but is it as simple as Kanye's come out, he started all this controversy, he popped back up a year after Twitter, he's talking about all this crazy stuff because ultimately he wants to drop the albums and do a clothing line and a fashion show at the same time, and he's just trying to get everybody's money, and that's why he's been like this, because it's just a show to get paid? Or is there more depth to it? Because that's the conversation ultimately, right? Or that's
Yeah.
what people are saying. He's just trying to sell shit, or he's a genius who's come out and he's relevant politically, and I don't know. What do you guys take it away? What do you think?
I honestly think that what Kanye is definitely it's a promo, but I think more than anything for the albums that he's about to put out, and as well as the albums that he's supposed to produce. As far as like the clothing, I just think that in my personal opinion, I just think that he's given us a more in-depth look at what's going on behind the scenes of the Yeezy brand, along with the colorways that they're going to work throughout the seasons, as well as the garments. But who knows? I mean, the post that he did yesterday, a couple of videos highlighting some models putting on the clothes, could potentially be a fashion show, but at the same time, it could just be like, just them trying on new samples and just showing it, like it's going to come out soon. So
yeah.
I don't really know, but Kanye's a little bit off right now. on a few
He's
things.
all
Would
over
you
the
wear the
place.
clothing?
I don't wear Yeezy, nothing.
Right. So you said you wouldn't wear Yeezys because you don't believe in everything he's saying politically. Does that go for the free jacket they're going to send you as an invite to the fashion show?
No, I saw the jacket that I had too as well. I'm not with supporting somebody that, in my personal opinion, that somebody that stands next to someone like Donald Trump, who wants to deport, me being Spanish, wants to deport a lot of Spanish people back home and build the wall. And although, I respect Kanye's opinion, just like I respect everybody. Everybody has an opinion, and they're entitled to. But if it's something that morally I don't believe in, and I can't side with that. So that's why, as far as Kanye goes, me supporting him financially, it's not happening on my end.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm in the same boat. I mean, I haven't owned any Yeezys before all this. I don't see it happening after.
You don't think you're running out of money?
You're like, good thing you're not paying $500 for shit like that. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's probably the most interesting rollout campaign for an album I've ever seen. One in which you alienate a majority of your fan base. It's bizarre. But he has some new music out too that we didn't even mention.
Yeah.
Since the last time we've been.
Well, should it be mentioned?
I
Maybe one of the
mean-
songs, but
All right, so he drops 2 songs. One is clearly a joke or maybe a capture, a slight picture of his mental state. I don't really know.
Right.
And then the other one, I guess, is supposed to be more real, right? And with T.I., Yay versus the People
Yay
or
versus
whatever.
the people.
yeah.
And so was it strong enough?
Ye versus the People. I feel like it's a good record because these are the conversations we need to have. You know, people need to have these conversations with each other, from Kanye fans to non-Kanye fans, and I think that record spoke volumes because Ti is on the non-Trump support while Kanye is on his Trump shit. So I feel like that record was powerful, but at the same time, the first record, that Lift Yourself, was it?
Yeah.
When I heard the beat, I was like, oh, old Kanye's back, and I'm waiting, and the lyrics kick in, and I was just like...
He said these bars.
Yeah, the scoop diddy whoop diddy whoop. I was like, all right, cool, I got the point. I mean, even though mumble rap's hot right now, and that's supposedly what everybody likes, I just don't think that as, being what we know, what Kanye can bring to the table... That's a troll, and and I find it disrespectful to his fans. Probably, I don't know if his fans feel that way, but
absolutely. I mean, and I think the biggest part of the troll of that song is that the beat is so good. Mm-hmm. Like you're like, oh shit, and you're waiting, and you're like, yo, this is about to be crazy, and it's just like, not. And I've seen people online saying like, maybe it's a reference track for something on the album, but I don't know. I think he's like just firmly like, I'm a troll, and I'm a troll hard, and there you have it. That's it.
So you think that was intentional, like having that beat, and then?
Yeah, I think he's like, I'm gonna make the quintessential college dropout era with like a mix of dark, twisted fantasy, Kanye, and then
today's
say nothing
rap.
on it. Right.
Today's mumble rap.
right, and yeah. But as for the Tip record, I thought it was interesting to see like how he can take a dialogue that was taking place on his Twitter account and directly turn that into music, and working with Tip to do that. I thought that was really interesting. The thing that I was looking for from it was, he'd been saying all these things on Twitter, these like comments about, this is actually, the song came out prior to the slavery comments he said on TMZ Live, but he was talking about support for Donald Trump. He was showing the hat, and you want to think that someone like Kanye, who is, as a creative genius, will have some thought and some like actual like thoughtful things or reasons to explain why he's supporting Trump.
Yeah.
And that was sort of the perfect opportunity, and it was nothing. It was just like, Trump showed me that I could be president, and it's like, okay, so that's why you're supporting him.
But this is a person who wants to be president but doesn't know any of the actual politics or anything going on in Trump's politics, and then doesn't know. I mean, like, what does he want to be president of?
Right.
And I
president of everybody's shoes? Like, I literally don't understand if none of the politics are an issue. And then, remember, he weighed in on Obama and said Obama didn't do anything for Chicago in 8 years. What was that, last week? I don't even remember.
Yeah, that was last week.
If he's so really hungry to be president, it was 2020 and now it's 2024. Like, where does he stand on the wall? Where does he stand on immigration? Where does he stand on abortion? Where does he stand on healthcare? Where does he stand on all of the topics? He doesn't speak on any of that.
None of that. The only reasoning I'm finding from his tweets and from his interviews that he's supporting Trump is because Trump broke the you have to be a politician to be a president.
Right.
So you have to be a politician who's got some sort of skilled experience about how to politic in the government, and that's got no value to it. That's a pain in the ass. You shouldn't have any experience or value in being a civil servant. Let's throw that out the window and get reality show hosts, and that's what his
celebrities
thing is. Yet he won't follow him on Twitter, but he's following the Emma Gonzalez girl.
Right.
Like, my favorite thing is who he's following on Twitter.
Exactly.
But it's interesting to me too, though. Like, just think about it for a second. He says Obama was heaven sent, but Donald Trump showed me that I could be president. Right? I feel like for a lot of us, Black people, people of color, when Obama became president, it was like, wow, maybe not literally I could be president because Obama's president, but it's like, wow, someone like me is in the White House. You know what I mean? Like, I think that was a powerful statement, and it shows where Kanye is in his life and his status or whatever, that he identifies more with Donald Trump or with someone that's like, a celebrity, a wealthy person, whatever. And that's who he looks at as like, wow, I could do this too. Not Obama. you know what I mean? Like it's
But
kind
he's
of crazy.
just mad at Obama because Obama called him a jackass.
And that too, yeah.
Like that's legitimately it.
I
He's
mean,
mad at him, right?
After
like
5,
that's what
6
it
years,
is.
you're still bringing
5, 6
it up?
years. I mean, he said it was ultimately that his mom and him met with Obama a while back beforehand, and then he
Right.
felt like he's been dismissed. But it doesn't seem like he wants to take any credit for his antics, maybe being the reason why Obama dismissed him, right? And he's jealous that Kendrick and Jay get the love from Obama. But I think you can compare Kendrick, Jay, and Kanye and understand distinctly why they're different characters and why somebody might appeal more to one person than they do to the other when you take those guys.
Of course.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, yeah, it's a interesting Kanye that we're seeing nowadays, and you know, I mean,
What I don't understand is that he he likes Trump because of this. Not like he doesn't like that he doesn't just like that, this is something that shows he can become president. Like he supports Trump, not just the idea that somebody who's not already a politician can become president.
Right.
And I mean, that's the same thing. It's the same thing you were saying with
Like, didn't we
Obama.
see that
It's
with
not
Ronald
like-
Reagan, though? Like, haven't we
Yeah,
seen that before?
sure.
I
Didn't we see that with Arnold
Reagan. I was-
Schwarzenegger? You know, I mean, like, I don't
Right,
understand.
yeah,
We've
sure.
seen plenty of politicians who weren't traditional politicians, or plenty of people who weren't traditional politicians being voted for office. Is that enough of an excuse for Kanye to be toting a Trump hat, talking about how great Trump is?
no, not at all.
Because he's impressed by, there's plenty of other people you could pick that you could follow that way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean,
None have been as like abrasive as Trump, or like, I mean, Trump. You talked about like Trump and Kanye having a lot of similarities, but like, I think he identifies, and John Legend I think said this too. He identifies with Trump because Trump just goes, he does the things that you're not supposed to do,
right against
which is what
the grain.
Kanye's always done. He's always done like the shit you're not supposed to do, whether it's wearing a pink polo when everyone's wearing throwback jerseys or whatever, or Yeezus when everyone's doing, I don't know, what were people doing in 2013? But yeah, he's always gone against the grain. I think he sees that in Trump. But I mean, going back to the song, I was expecting him to like give some kind of like legit reasoning, like,
Right.
these are the things I support about Trump. These are the things that I don't, whatever. And he didn't give any of that. It was all like all these like blanket statements of like, yeah, no, I'm just uniting people, and I put on the hat and made it positive. And it's
But what,
like,
he's
what'd you
uniting
actually
people
do?
to what? He's uniting people to be against what he's saying, or he's uniting
Right.
people to be for what he's saying? Like, isn't it one way or the other? You're either okay with what Kanye's saying, you're against it. So we're
Pretty
being
much, yeah.
united into two groups. He's an asshole or he's not, right? It's
Exactly,
that.
yeah.
You either think he's a jackass or you don't think he's a jackass,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
I mean, a lot of the statements, a lot of the tweets that he's been saying are very contradictory to what he said before and
Right,
what he's
right.
saying. It's like the same thing. Like Kanye is the type of person, we've seen this, that he doesn't care what anybody else thinks.
Mhm.
But you go on TMZ and
He's
say,
not communicating with anyone on
Yeah.
Twitter. Like, there's no conversation happening.
Right.
It's not like he's talking back or, he's responding to a fan, responding. It's just, this is how I feel, this is what I think, this is what I think is cool. Me, put it out there nonstop.
All right.
Mhm.
And then he cares about what the TMZ cameras, whether he got big or not.
Right.
Like, you go get lipo. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like, yo, I thought you don't care, but you do care. So it's like,
Right.
what is it?
I'm surprised no one's asked him why he wants to be president yet. I haven't heard any. I don't know if maybe someone did. I don't think I heard that in Charlamagne's interview.
Has anyone actually asked him his stance on like actual political
Right, actual
stance?
policies.
Yeah.
Like,
I
right,
don't
like
think he has a clue.
to me, I feel like he wants
I don't
to be
think the
president for the
I don't
status.
think the policies and the politics and the actual element of what the like healthcare and how to solve it. I don't think that's
Right.
on his radar at all. It's not
Exactly.
part of any sort of
it's
conversation.
totally a status.
That's what I wanna
feed
hear in
an
an
ego
interview.
feed
and
of,
the
like, I'm
vision that he
biggest-
has, and that's it.
Right.
But also, Trump represents in a lot of ways thrones and gold ceilings and gold
Mm-hmm.
toilet seats and all that fancy shit that a lot of people, like if you could live in a castle, turn the White House to a castle, he would, right?
Yeah.
So Kanye's I would think, attracted
to-
to that also, this whole royalty mentality
Mm-hmm.
that Trump's kind of been fictitiously living in for how long.
Yeah.
So he likes the gold this and the gold that and the fancy this and the fancy that. Like, I think he literally thinks, oh, I get to be king of the world, not that I get to be president of the free world. Like,
Right.
oh, I'm king. I literally think
Right.
he's thinking of it that way. Like, if it comes with a crown, God damn it, he wants the crown and he wants it to have it bedazzled as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely like to hear him like say, because he's not gonna say that. If someone asks him that,
I don't know how
But I don't
knowledgeable
know
he
what
is
he
of
would
all
even
of
say.
it.
I don't-
I mean,
yeah.
I wonder at the end of the day, what's he really taking in and learning that's making him feel and talk about all this stuff?
Mhm.
You know, is he sitting there and reading in-depth articles on what's going on from legit news sources? Is he talking to people who really know what's going on? Because it seems when people try to give him information, a la John Legend,
Legend,
he's not hearing
T.I.
it.
No.
He's
Right.
not accepting it. He's not letting in the logic of, you know, he's talking about the old Republicans and then the Republicans and blah, 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 and he can't be all that stuff, but he doesn't really understand what the history is of all of
No.
it. And it doesn't seem like he's taking it in. So it almost feels like I just love to talk.
And I love
And I
you.
love people, and I love whatever that
And I
bullshit is.
love
And
you,
I
yeah.
love people to respond to me as much as possible and talk about me. But that makes me bring it out to, like, to me, it's a bigger thing. We've just spent how long, 20 minutes, whatever, talking about Kanye. It's just some fucking dude with a stupid opinion.
Yeah.
Like, why are we letting him even have this much power?
Right.
Why are
Right.
we even, you know, even giving a fuck of what he says on Twitter like that? It's just a dude with an opinion. And if we don't, and there's no threat to it ultimately because he doesn't have the power to do anything
Right.
but sell shoes and make some music. So all
Right.
he kind of is doing is digging a hole for himself where the music has to be that good
Right.
or
Or-
else because you can't be this nuts and have subpar
Yeah.
music, whether it's really nuts or not. And I know Kim, the wife, has weighed in on mental health and making fun of him, and people have questioned him being bipolar or not. You can't be behaving the way you are and then have subpar music and it work for you.
Yeah.
So it
Right.
seems like, in essence, he spent the last 2 weeks digging the hole of the music has to be that much more amazing in order for us to say, okay, Kanye, we let you pass.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the music gotta be exceptional. If not, this L is gonna keep on going forever.
So from the
Kanye.
music that you heard so far, is it on the you know, rocket to being amazing?
I mean, from 1 to 10, I'll give it 5. And the first song is 1.
So the second song
the
is
second song, I'll give you the 5.
I think I think T.I. Sorry, Ye versus the People, I think is I think it's like a cool novelty song, but it's not like I probably don't need to listen to it again.
It's for the moment song.
Right, exactly.
for the
It
moment.
captured that
Yeah.
moment perfectly, and it's like, okay, cool. This is what we all wanted to say to Kanye. Like, you look like a fool right now, and he didn't really defend himself that well.
well, what do you think about the guy? I forgot his name, Van or something, defending or
I thought
speaking to
Van
him
was
on.
amazing.
Oh,
Van,
handle him.
Van deserves.
Shout out to Van.
Yeah, shout out to Van, man. That's how you handle a situation.
Yeah.
That's how you speak up to Kanye, because Kanye was not expecting that. From
Right.
the face, I was like,
Yo, his
wow.
face
And where did
looked
the
like-
conversation go after that? Like, you saw a little bit. He walked back
He
to
walked
him,
over to
right?
him
And he walked to him like he was going to talk to him more. But really, what happened after that?
It kind of cuts off right after
Yeah.
Kanye starts walking to
But
Van.
it didn't in real life. It kept
No,
going.
yeah,
Did
exactly.
they hug it
Yeah.
out? Like, what happened? How
Yeah.
did that whole thing end? How did he leave later that day? How did you wrap it up? Did you hug it out with the Van guy? Did you not? Like, I mean, we didn't really see. We saw a little bit, but we didn't really see what actually happened after
Right.
he straight up got told off that he was embarrassing
Yeah.
and hurtful.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that was imagine saying that to somebody.
That was powerful.
Right, yeah.
That was powerful for Van.
It was.
So
he
we
was-
didn't get to see Kanye respond to somebody calling him out enough. Like,
No.
I would have liked to have seen you straight got called
He
out.
tried to give him a hug.
How he tried to give him a hug.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then
yeah,
what?
he-
Did the guy hug him back?
Right.
Did they not? Did they shake hands after? Did they give
That
each
I'm
other
not
a
sure.
pound? How
Yeah.
long after that and he got told off? Did he leave? Right? Because you're spouting and you're spouting and you're spouting and you're spouting on your platform, right? And then somebody just straight stops you, like a stop sign you just ran into and called you out. How does it wrap after that?
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a part where Kanye is telling Van, like, stop yelling, stop screaming.
Right.
You're gonna make us look
yeah,
crazy.
right.
Right.
That was I don't know if that's before or after.
Says Kanye,
I
who's
think that
in
was
the
after.
room, who stands up and starts yelling at everybody to listen to him.
Right.
Right.
Everybody
exactly.
in the room listened to him, which we've experienced at our office before with him, of him coming up and telling everybody to listen to him and the whole floor of people. So he's telling everyone to listen to him, and then he tells Van that he's acting crazy.
Yeah.
we're gonna look. I mean, totally respectability politics, but you're gonna make us look crazy. It's like
That's like, bro,
Yeah.
you're the one starting all this
right,
shit.
right.
It's
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
it's a shame because like I think all of us grew up, like and loving Kanye for who he was, what he stood for, and the music that he put out.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. How timeless is that music gonna be now that this is going on? Like,
Right.
his music was timeless, but how timeless is it really?
Listen, people always remember the negative shit over the good shit.
That's a good
So
point.
right
I
now,
wonder.
That's
I mean,
true.
with Kanye, sometimes it seems like he gets a pass often
He
because the
gets a-
music's good.
he's-
Because even if the music's amazing, he's been so all over the place. Is that enough to really clear it all
Right.
up and be like, yeah, you could say whatever you want. You could do whatever you want. You've got the power. People are listening to you. Say whatever stupidity comes to your mind or whatever's not true. Send out quotes that aren't really real quotes attributed
Yeah.
to the wrong people because your music sounds good. So it's kind of this weird thing where you've got the diehard fan that Kanye can do whatever because we're hoping that the music will sound a certain way or it will sound a certain way, or there are people who are just going to be disgusted by him regardless. But I think there is that whole world that I love Yeezy sneakers.
No matter what.
going to
Yeah.
what it doesn't matter what he says. He's got cool
Doesn't matter.
sneakers.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter because he's got two different type of crowds. He's got the the fashion, the hype beast, the trendy kids, and then he's got the people that fell in love with his music. So what you see more is like the people, like what I see kind of like on my end is like the people that got into Kanye because of the music are more turned away from his actions now.
Right.
Because of what he represented back in the days. And the kids, like the new kids growing up, learning about Kanye, more about his fashion side of things, are giving him like the pass, vouching for him, like feeling like however Kanye feels. So it's like,
I mean, that makes sense too, though, because I mean, people that are into his fashion, like fashion's more of a lifestyle, whereas music's sort of like, all right, I like your songs, but like that's where that's where it stops. I could just stop listening to music, and that's that. I feel like it's probably an easier disconnect than like someone that likes him as a celebrity, as a person, as a fashion icon, as a whatever,
yeah.
So, but
Are you
Yeah.
guys? Are you guys? Is Kanye canceled for you guys? Do you guys still have hope in Kanye changing?
I got some feelings for him because he did that liposuction for us. He did that for us. We was calling him fat. Like
Right.
he did that for us. That made me mad, bro. Like hearing
Crazy,
that just made
right?
me mad. Like there's a video of 50 Cent watching it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah, that's
was
hilarious.
That shit
hilarious.
had me rolling, bro.
Yo, Snoop and 50 are no holds barred when it comes
Yeah.
to Kanye right now.
I mean, they've been watching him for years going, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
It's not,
Yeah.
This is not the first. It just is, I don't know.
When 50 did that, it reminded me so much of that cover when it was 50 versus
Kanye.
Kanye. And they were
Yeah.
like, who's gonna be the king or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's like,
9/11 one.
Right now, look at where it's at now.
I know, right?
It's crazy, man. I don't know.
Well, is he really a loser?
Kanye at this
Kanye?
point?
Yeah.
I don't think he's taking the ultimate out, but he's heading that way. The
Yeah.
actions that he's doing,
And
All
he-
right. So
headed
what
that
if he
way?
comes out and when next month comes out and he's got amazing 7-track EP album?
Yo, I fuck with Kanye, bro. Yo, he came back. He should. I don't know. People are gonna be saying completely different things. It's like I've already been seeing people say that, like, yo, they post a video of something that Kanye said and like, yo, when he explains himself, he's really just a genius and this and that. I'm like, and I watched the video. I'm like, he didn't explain shit.
Yeah.
Right.
He just said Trump is my boy.
Right, exactly.
Like,
No,
don't-
he really. I don't get it. He really didn't explain anything, and
No,
people are
he
saying, and
doesn't.
you're just like I tweeted something, and I hate when people say I tweeted something, but that's where you get the response. And I had something, and someone was like, people are just misunderstanding his opinions. I was like, what?
Right.
That's really what it. That's all it is.
Like,
People
word.
but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are just misunderstanding his opinions,
Right.
and that's where it goes back to. It's just a dude with an opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
But he had 27 million, 28 million, whatever Instagram followers, 28.1 million Instagram
Twitter.
followers. Sorry, Twitter followers. Then maybe you do have a responsibility to not just spout nonsense. I don't know. I know. My genuine feeling would be that there's products to be sold,
Right.
and that's what we're gearing
Yeah.
up to.
Yeah.
And this is his idea of how to sell some jackets with holes in them or something.
Yeah. To me it's hard to imagine this album really captivating me, mostly just because, like, what does he have to say?
Well, I'm sorry to cut you off, but here's the question. What's more important to Kanye West, the clothing line or the music, right? So he's putting out, we're assuming a clothing line based off the way it looks, and we really don't know. And music, because we know he's confirmed that, right?
Right.
So what do you think is his baby? What do you think gets more attention? What do you think he wants to be? Does he want to be King Kanye making this great album and I'm the best producer and rapper and greatest musical being, blah, blah, blah? Or does he want to be Kanye the new Urban Outfitters, and that's more important to him.
From the interview with Charlemagne, from what I got, is his focus is definitely more on the fashion, where he wants to make Yeezy like the biggest brand, like something like Gap. He said,
Right.
so that's
So where does that fit into politics as a president?
exactly, like, I guess because he wants to supposedly lower the price to the point where it's accessible for everybody, but
Which
that
gives
doesn't
him more money.
right. But that doesn't even matter. Like, what does that have to do with politics? Exactly. If you're gonna run
Right.
for president, what is that?
I just
Right.
don't understand what they have to do with each other. You want to put music out, and the music gives you an avenue to speak politically and actually have feelings that and have things that are political and presidential and politician like, and you can have that avenue to communicate. I mean, I don't know what the clothing does with that unless you're putting patches that have your statements all over it. What's the president's office is a huge thing. We know he's not joking at this point. The guy's been
Right.
talking about it for years. It's probably why he's fascinated with Trump. So here's a guy who's totally probably obsessed with being the president. Yet the outlet you have to being the president, we have never seen anyone become a politician because they had a great clothing line, right?
Never.
Like
Right.
that's never been the connection off of it. So I don't get where the worlds are colliding or if they're not.
Right. Yeah, to me, I would think the fashion is first and foremost for him. I mean, even I'm thinking back on like when he was doing his Jesus interviews, and he was talking about how he was being marginalized, which was his favorite word around that time, and basically like
Winter's favorite words this time. I forgot.
love,
yeah.
right?
Love
We got love.
and
But he was talking about how like there's only a certain window of influence you have as like a rapper just doing music, and he wanted to get into like fashion and furniture and all these other avenues.
Disney.
Right. Disney. Steve Jobs. Just naming names. But so I feel like he was sort of at that point just forecasting what's been happening now, like him going more into fashion and going heavy that way. And I think he knows he can't really compete with Kendrick like that anymore. He can't really compete with Drake like that anymore. You know, all these new guys, even Cole, like he's sort of past that point, and I think he recognizes and realizes that, and that's why he's shifting into fashion and politics and wanting to be something that's like more than he was saying in the Charlemagne interview that when people call you a rapper, it's limiting like what you can do or represent or whatever. And I feel like that's sort of where his mind is at. I think he recognizes the importance of music as a marketing tool, but I don't think he's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's losing sleep over.
We don't know anything.
Music's right.
We don't know anything.
And even
All the speculation.
even to the fashion side of things, like today, it was reported like the Givenchy designer accused Kanye of stealing his designs, and these designs were from 2005. That dude was at Nike at that moment, the designer. So somehow it looks like he got photoshopped like a date or something, and he's accusing, allegedly Kanye photoshopped the date off and used those same sketches for the new Yeezy lines.
So we're saying that he and the clothing line wouldn't be creative enough to come up with their own designs.
I mean,
that they're stealing.
They're calling him out even for the camel stuff. Like last month, they called him out for the camel stuff. So I mean, people that the fashion world even.
But isn't that theft?
Yeah.
I mean, the difference between called out and theft is what we're identifying it as.
Yeah.
If you're taking sketches and camo from other people and who knows what else, aren't you stealing ideas from other outlets?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even in the interview, he seemed like he was very hurt from the fashion world, because they haven't embraced him the way Kanye feels like he should be embraced. He talked about being late to like 40 minutes. But in the fashion world, you got to be on time. Like, that's why the fashion shows run on time and this and that. So I
but
just
that's
don't
why
know.
it looks like he's kind of saying, fuck Fashion Week. I'm going to do my fashion show when I want to
Exactly.
do it,
Could
which is to
possibly be.
promote this project. I mean, if you look at his Instagram, it looks like there's finished clothing line there, and they're fitting people, and they're getting something together, right? So then you would think, okay, we're a month away, June 8th, June 1st, June whatever. He said the music's coming out. That's a month from now. They look about a month away out of a fashion thing. It looks like you've got him launching the project or projects and fashion line and a fashion show at the same time. So maybe it's an amount of time before we hear a big announcement of go to
Madison Square
Garden, and then he's going to do the soundtrack and the album at the same time with the fashion show. But because he's pushed Fashion Week the wrong way by making them wait on him, he's now eliminated Fashion Week and is creating his own fashion event, not during Fashion Week.
Right.
He's probably like saying, like, fuck all these fashion
New
people. I'm going to
rules.
do it on my own time.
Right.
Which we know Fashion Week is in February and September. He's probably like, let me just do my own shit. and have everybody.
Right.
He's like, I don't need the fashion people. Then have the streetwear kids come in.
So why didn't they embrace him?
I just probably think it's more the approach. You know, he came in feeling himself, maybe like, yeah, listen, my ideas are top notch. Let me in the door, and if not, I'm breaking through the door. And I think that, you know, Kanye, you know, he just feels like at that moment Kanye was the hottest artist in music wise. You know, when he started kind of like doing the Yeezy season, the first collection, and I think now he's like probably it's the ego and the power got to him, and he just feels like anything that he does is hot. And,
Yeah. But then also, I mean, in the fashion world, like a lot of those people who wanted their own lines and are doing fashion already, like have worked all their life on that.
Right.
You know, and I think there's probably like a resistance to the idea of a celebrity just coming through like, yo, I'm here now. Boom, I got these clothes. Like, let me get a line. What's up? You know, and people usually, you know, work all their lives or however long to get to that place. So
he just came through like me too.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. And it's like you said, JFK is like to build a brand, a high end brand at that.
Right.
You need time, and you need a time to build your name and your reputation. Kanye just came in, and you know what I'm saying. Like it's like it's treated like a streetwear, but not really. You know, you could tell the quality is good. The garments, you know, are high quality, but then again, you know, everything you gotta play your role and know how to play your role. And
it seems like he didn't get his way in a lot of different things. It didn't go exactly how I wanted. So he's building his own commune on his own 300 or 500 acres that he bought to create a world where, and his clothing line and his this, where everybody listens to him and does what he wants. Right? Yeah. I mean, if you can't play well with others, I guess build your own world and eliminate all the others who won't do what you want. I don't know.
Because like, even from the last fashion show that you know, all the reports and the reviews from the fashion show were pretty negative, you know, just because, you know, the models were standing outside and some of the clothes was falling off and the shoes broke. So, you know, he's probably still hurt from that. If he's hurt from TMZ thinking that they're going to call him fat or whatever, then he's probably still hurt from that situation. But, you know, we don't know. These are things that
we're all speculating because nobody really knows. We can even tell from the people texting him, they don't know what's going on.
No, everybody's just confused. Everybody's just wondering, like, what the fuck is up with this guy?
Yeah.
All right, enough Kanye. Kanye. We got the idea. I'm sure there'll be something to speak on with him next week. Speaking of people who are from Chicago and are all over the place, I guess my transitioning into R. Kelly and the mute R. Kelly. I don't know.
See what you did there.
Yeah, I tried. I don't know. Speaking of not just from Chicago, no. Different people, totally, both musical, right?
Right.
So R. Kelly has been suspected of having his own commune, I guess, a community, with a harems of women, right? And locked up with him, then I don't know, some crazy shit. And he's peed on young girls a long time ago, allegedly, and videotape we saw. And anyway, we know all the R. Kelly stuff. But now it's popped up that we want to mute R. Kelly. And this week there was a movement to mute him. And I don't know, what do you guys think about that?
I already mute. Whenever AJ Ain't Nothing But a Number comes on by Aaliyah, I can't even listen to it anymore.
How often does that come on for you?
It doesn't come on.
How often does that come on?
Where
are you? Where's that coming on?
I skip it on the album. I can't listen to Are You Ready? I can't listen to that. Damn.
And I mean, it's like for Kells, it's like his music is so closely connected to like right, exactly.
Raunchy.
It's like, how do you separate the two things, you know? But I think it's interesting that it's sort of finally like really taking shape now, like a movement to sort of like get him out the paint.
Like 15 years later.
Right.
It's weird that it's now, right?
Yeah.
Because it seems like what I'm confused by is all the girls that they're talking about aren't underage. But years ago, the girls were underage.
Right.
So why weren't they able to take them down when they were all underage? Because that seems like when it was the most illegal. Right. Not to say that there's no underage girls now. I have no idea.
Right.
But it seems like he was set up with all these stories, with Aaliyah, with the girl in the video, and so that it didn't work now. I'm curious what's going to happen now. Or is it easy to mute him because it's years later, the music's not that good, and people aren't listening to him anyway? So he feels like he's 15. It's from 15 years anyway, so no one has a problem with it.
I mean, I think it's also
Then it was too hard before because he was still making good stuff.
Right.
Go ahead.
exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. Like he was still making good music, and people were sort of turning the cheek to it, and just like, oh, but Ignition remix though,
Yeah.
When was the last relevant R. Kelly song?
On the Boondocks.
The Cookie one. Oh no, the Lady Gaga one. He had a song with Lady Gaga.
I
This
vaguely
was like
remember
a few
that.
years ago, and then he had something called Cookie, and it wasn't big like that, but it was like
That's
it just because of the raunchy lyrics, it was big.
Yo, all his lyrics are low key raunchy, except for "Step in the Name of Love" and "I Believe I Can Fly."
Or I wish.
Yeah.
Or I wish.
Or I wish, right.
I wish.
It was like his redemption songs, right?
Yeah.
Or Happy.
Happy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
But now
Or-
we're muting R. Kelly though, so
I'm a Flirt was big, right?
I'm a
Yeah.
Flirt was big.
that
Yeah,
was
with
2000.
T-Pain.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2007.
Yeah, then he had he jumped into like reggaeton, and then he did something.
He did reggaeton?
Yeah, he did reggaeton. He had a song.
Kells did everything, man.
Kells
Like,
did a lot. Kells did
Yeah.
a lot. That's why I'm like, yo. I mean, I'm listen. I don't support nothing R. Kelly. I'm a huge R. Kelly fan. You know what I mean? But I don't support.
Would you wear his clothing line and his sneakers?
I'm sure they would
But
be
if he
trash.
did.
But
The only size 15.
You know
Yeah.
what was good though? The Write Me Back album that came out in 2012. It was like him doing like old school.
oh, that's the one. When a man.
I think yeah, I
that's
think it was
a great
that one.
song.
Yeah, that album was good. But I think with the timing though, it's just an interesting time. I mean, like we're seeing like Cosby getting
Right, it's a
convicted,
timing
you
side
of
of
know?
it, yeah.
There's that. There's the Me Too movement. There's social media that just allows people to sort of more effectively boycott and mobilize, and you know what I mean, all those things. So I think
Right, if
those
you
all
had
play
social
into it.
networking when he was on trial,
right?
what would have been then? It's a whole
Yeah.
different thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
And even at that, like, there's artists that done crazy shit too, as well, like in
Right.
the past and today. And so it's like, are we gonna take them off the radio as well? Then is that what?
Yeah.
Doing? Because if it's done to R. Kelly, it should be done to everybody. Then.
Yeah.
know?
It's just an interesting time. I think we're in like a cancel culture where it's like every
I feel like,
celebrity's like, yo, they're canceled.
yeah.
You know?
But I think they pick and choose who they, because the Bill Cosby, it goes down to like, all right, well, that dude Weinstein or whatever,
Right.
he's done crazy shit
Yeah.
too. And so it's
Yeah.
like, yo, we're looking at Bill Cosby that 30 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
but then Weinstein shit is just like for many years. So it's
Right,
like,
right.
why isn't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get it.
I mean, I think some of it is the legal side of it. I think on a social media, social aspect, like they kind of got Weinstein out of here. I think he had to, if I remember correctly, I think he had to give up his stake in his business. I don't know, but I know definitely like on social media, people were like, nah, get him out of here.
Finished.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's crazy. Like just the time we're in. I mean, you look at the Nas thing with Khalees, and Khalees
Was he canceled?
recently. People were saying that. I mean, I don't know that it's been as strong as like
The Fabulous one.
right. Even Fab we had video, so I think that sort of added to it. But even that, people aren't talking about anymore, and I don't know. It's just interesting, especially these past few weeks. It's like every week it's been like, all right, we gotta get Kanye out of here, we gotta get Nas out of here, we gotta get Fab out of here, and it's just like the list goes on and on.
Meanwhile, Syria got bombed a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Right. And nobody's paying attention to that. 'Cause,
Message.
All right, so with R. Kelly, we just don't know.
We just don't know.
With Kanye, we just don't know.
If age ain't nothing but a number comes on, turn
Barry's
it
not
off. Barry's turning
listening
it off.
because it's played all the time by him. No, the R. Kelly thing, they're I don't know. They're not the same story, but they're sad stories because, to a degree, because you just didn't think anything would kind of turn out
No.
like this, you know?
Yeah.
And it's two people you've got quite the discographies, and you've got to decide, are you going to eliminate those discographies or those albums from your listening pleasure because you feel politically against it? or are
Right.
you not? Because the only thing you can do is not spend the money or not back it up, right? You
Right.
can't really do too much to stop them. You're not getting in their face directly. You're not going to go and pull the girls out of the house. You're not going to, whatever it is. That I guess your thing is, I'm not going to wear the sneakers. I'm not going to wear the
yeah.
clothes. I'm not going to listen to the music. I'm not going to go to the concert.
Mhm.
Is the only way I guess you can, or the best way, or the
I think
main way you could protest.
Yeah, I think we all get just, my thing is, me personally, I just get turned off by, certain things
Yeah.
or the artists or whatever, and I'm not going to pump them like I used to, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is my favorite fucking album,
Right.
I'm not going to listen to it like I used to listen to it. It's not, it doesn't have the same meaning and feeling that it once had. So
Yeah. The thing that sucks about that though is like, I mean, music. I think a lot of people connect music to times in their lives, and like
Without a doubt. And then
Right.
you it's like it's fucking up that time of your life.
exactly
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, so now my memories are fucked up. Like, College Dropout came out when I was a freshman in college, and so I mean, just off of that alone, it had like special significance, and it's sort of like, all right, well, erase that year. Erase 04. Right.
It's true. It's like, so I got to get rid of all the early 2000s.
Right.
all falls down? What?
I
Don't
guess.
count no more?
You
No,
know?
that's messed up because you're supposed to not want to listen to that stuff. Not even like
Right.
feel like you have to.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
the issue. It's not like, so I can't listen to R. Kelly anymore. You kind of not, you're going to, in order for you to be right, you're going to not want to listen to R. Kelly anymore.
Right. But then at the same time, there's like also a social pressure and stigma, I think, too, of like,
You're in the car blasting that shit loud.
right. Right. People might look at you like,
You can't blast
fuck,
in the
you can't
wrong
stand for
area.
anything, bro.
That did happen the other day. I was blasting something I will not say. And I was blasting it, and this guy walks out of his house, and he is staring at me, and I'm staring at him. And I'm like, am I doing something wrong? So then I'm like, oh, he doesn't like the music I'm playing.
Right.
But it's
Yeah,
it was
so-
awkward. It was awkward. All right, so check off that one. Now, quick one, Kodak Black has changed his name.
To
He is now Bill K. Capri.
why?
Bill K. Capri.
Okay.
And we're trying to
Son.
guess, if it's William.
Is that his real
William
name?
Keith.
No, that's not his real name. That's his real new name.
Mm-hmm.
It's his real new
Like
name.
it's his real. He changed his government name.
Oh, he changed his government.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's not his rap name. His rap name
okay.
is still Kodak. His government name is now William K. Capri.
Can I ask what it was before?
It was
Octavius?
yeah, but
I honestly not a.
did they change it on
Dayu's son?
Wikipedia already? Let's see.
Right, probably.
Erase the history of my old name. I don't want it.
Let's see. Wikipedia. His name is Bill K. Capri. Yeah, on Wikipedia.
Ah, that was the first move they made.
Mm-hmm. Born, the son, Octave.
Okay.
The
I got it
son,
backwards, yeah.
Octave.
All right. Dope.
Mhm. So
I like that better
the son,
Yeah.
than
Octave.
William K. Capri.
William.
I'm sorry, Bill, right? He's not even William.
But
He's
wait,
just Bill.
that's the nickname for Bill,
He's
right?
Bill.
Like,
But we don't know if he's just like he might have just decided, hey, listen, I'm not Patrick, I'm just Pat.
Right. Right. Just gonna the short version.
Right?
I want to know what the Capri stands for. Like,
I mean, when I hear
Capri
that name,
Sun, clearly.
Yeah,
I think
like,
Capri Sun.
I think Capri Sun.
I was like, it's a
I think
Florida
it's
thing,
William
though.
Kodak Capri Sun. That's
Right.
where I'm at with
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I think that. I think Bill and the K being Cosby, which doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense to me. And I think K Capri is
How
like
about Capri
Kid
with
Capri.
a K? But it's Capri with a K, I just want to say.
Oh.
Mm.
I was thinking Kid Capri also, like the K being the.
okay,
the-
Capri.
I'm
Bill
with
K.
you, but I don't think
Bill-
Kodak Black and Kid Capri have anything to do with
Right.
each other.
I don't even think they know. I don't think even know if Kodak knows who
Probably
Capri
doesn't know
is.
who that is.
They know
so-
it, yeah.
Shoots a hole in my theory.
I mean, anything's possible, but I don't know.
Right.
Besides the Kanye stuff, this might be my favorite story of the week.
But
Without a
it
doubt.
doesn't surprise because
No,
Kodak.
it does
Right,
surprise
right.
me.
It
You
does?
chose Bill. Why?
Oh, well,
Right.
the name.
I'm dying to know why you chose Bill, and if it's William or if it's just Bill.
Mm-hmm.
And if he went to somebody and was like, I'm thinking of changing my name. I'm thinking going Bill. And they're like, why not William? And was there a conversation?
Right.
Might be inspired by Bill Wilson.
Shout out to Bill Wilson.
Yes.
He's not listening, but shout out to Bill Wilson.
Shout out to Aiden. He might be listening.
Maybe. I don't know. All right. So Bill. Check next to Bill. He's done. Post Malone breaks J. Cole's record after J. Cole broke the record for streaming. I think it was Spotify, right?
Yeah.
How do we feel about that?
Damn, they broke
I guess,
Cole's record after a week.
I want to know who's gonna break it next week.
Yeah, it'll probably be Kanye, or Drake. Or
Yeah,
Kanye or
right,
Drake.
right. I mean, I think we're just as streaming continues to grow, we're gonna just continue seeing these records get broken multiple times a year, just because the more like people are still getting on streaming. Like it's still becoming, it still has a way to grow. So I think it makes sense.
I definitely think Kanye's album is gonna break it, just because everybody is like, even if you hate Kanye, people are
You're gonna
going
hate listen to his
You're
album.
gonna want, you're gonna be like, I want to say the song is trash.
Right.
Let me put it on.
I definitely think he's gonna break it because we brought the conversation back to Kanye. So,
Yeah.
so
Right,
it's gonna,
exactly,
everything revolves
exactly.
around Kanye right now.
Backing up to Kodak, I did forget. He's referred to himself as Bill before in previous songs, right?
Bill Roadrunner or something like that. That's his
Something.
Snapchat name.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
also name dropped it in some songs before, too.
Oh, yeah.
So the Bill thing has been around for a minute. I wanted to go back to
Yeah,
that.
the
'cause it's
Snapchat is definitely
fascinating.
his name, Bill Roadrunner, if I'm not mistaken. But it's definitely a Bill in there.
And then he
Right.
said he referred to himself as Bill in the song Give It All I Got in 2016.
Oh.
So he's been calling himself Bill since 2016, maybe.
No, that's so
I find
weird.
this fascinating. I might keep going back to it.
And you just
I'll be back in next one. So what else happened? You had Juelz Santana was
Oh, yeah,
officially
it's a big one.
charged. Facing 20 years now. It's official. Federal charges. Looks like he's in some trouble.
20 years.
All of you are just making horrible faces, so I know there's not much conversation to have except it's just an upsetting story.
Yeah, because another guy that I grew up on, Juelz Santana, and
yeah, man.
you know,
Diplomatic immunity.
I mean, Santana Town. I had me
Santana
running
Town.
around with long, tall tees, like designed by myself and
What
everything.
the game's been
bandanas. Yep.
And me start wearing the skull head.
I really thought
Right.
I thought Juelz was gonna be the next big superstar, and
Yeah.
and
He was
What
definitely
year did you think this?
the year that he was dropping his music,
Okay, not
not when he went quiet for several years.
right.
Just wondering if we were talking about now.
He went on
Like last
a
week.
long ass hiatus. Like I never seen one.
Yeah. He got caught up in the I think he got caught in the like the Cam Jim rift when Dipset sort of
True.
fell apart. I think he was legally he was contractually a Def Jam artist, but then also like Cam had some control from what I remember. But yeah, I don't know. I thought he was one of the most talented of his generation.
Yeah,
for
but it's
sure.
been years.
No,
That was a while ago,
definitely.
yeah.
That was
Like,
yeah.
it's been years
That was
since
a
we've
good
been
decade
checking for
ago.
Juelz's
Yeah.
music.
I
We've been
mean-
waiting for the new solo album for like 10 years.
We were waiting for the Lil
Legit,
Wayne,
yeah.
the Lil
I
Wayne
Can't
and
Feel My
Juelz.
Face.
My face. Hell
Yeah, shit
Yeah.
never came out. We
There's
I think a
music
lot of
out
it
there.
leaked, though,
yeah.
yeah. A lot of it leaked.
probably leaked like the T-Pain and Wayne music that came out and just went after a
That
whole
was
week.
bizarre.
Yeah.
Out of the blue, they just
Yeah.
dropped the
Okay.
T-Pain, the T-Wayne
On
project.
a random
yeah.
like Tuesday, right? Like
Fuck y'all, here it is.
Right.
10 years later.
Stop bothering me.
All right. Well, good luck to Juelz. I hope everything does work out in
real.
his favor.
absolutely.
He's got to figure out what's going on there. All right. Quavo gets into a fight. And was that Vegas? I don't remember.
I think that was
Quavo
Vegas,
gets into a
yeah.
fight. Drake gets into a fight at the NBA. So here are two fights of the week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Take it away.
I'll run down the fights.
Not really, but you guys want to talk about them. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, the Drake situation was pretty. You know, Drake is known as a trash talker on the court. Known to sit courtside always for the Toronto Raptors game, ambassador of the Raptors. Drake and Kendrick Perkins, a veteran in the NBA, they got into it, shouting at each other back and forth. For a moment there, I was like, oh, more trash talk, but it seemed like, you know, Kendrick was really upset and Drake wasn't having it neither. Drake was surrounded by his people and, like, you could tell security was trying to, like, break it away. And there was another player in there, Jose Calderon. He was trying to kind of talk to Drake in a way and then pulling away Kendrick Perkins. But yeah, I mean, this is the first time that it actually got serious between Drake and an NBA player, and I think ESPN wrote something, right? What did they say?
Yeah, they just reported that the NBA basically warned Drake after the confrontation. Just I think about his language and the things he was saying. So I'm pretty sure we'll hear something about that in the album. It'll probably be like a line in a very Jay-Z-esque way of like, you know, I don't know, ball so hard, motherfuckers gotta find me, some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, it could potentially lead into a fine for the Toronto Raptors.
True, yeah.
Being that he's an ambassador, so you know that we'll probably see that play out a little bit more. But you know, is Drake gonna stop? You know, the trash talk, or is he gonna continue? Like that's gonna be interesting. They play. Well, I was gonna say tonight, but they play. You know,
Yeah.
they're currently playing.
If you're hearing this, it's too late.
Yeah.
Oh, the timing of the podcast.
Yeah.
I think that's it, guys.
And the Quavo, we didn't mention the
Oh,
Quavo.
Quavo.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, Quavo. Mm-hmm. I didn't even entirely know.
I heard a
that
parking
situation.
lot. It was some beef,
Right.
and you know, apparently Quavo.
It lets you know that so many things have happened this week. The Quavo fight really is not that big of a deal.
Right.
It goes back to our first topic.
Quavo charged with battery after a fight with a valet in Las Vegas. So the valet,
Parking,
remember,
yeah.
I believe it was something with the ambulance. They wouldn't move the car for the
that's right.
ambulance.
Yeah. Mhm.
And I don't know if that's Quavo straight saying, nah, fuck the ambulance and fuck anybody
the
who's
dead
sick
person in
and
the car.
fucking the emergency. I should hope it's not that. But whatever reason, there was a fight back to not move the car. And then the valet got into it with them, and then the valet got beat up, right?
Yeah.
And he wasn't charged, and Quavo and his friends were.
Mhm.
And I don't really know what happens after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what?
Right.
Exactly. I mean, Quavo's, you know, as we've seen this year, Quavo's been involved in a few situations, you know, a few incidents with jewelers and
Right.
with people in parking lots and more parking lots. So,
Right.
I mean, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, but he's also probably, I don't know if this is the particular case with this story, by the way it sounds, maybe not, but I'm sure with success comes people testing you.
Of course.
Or trying to be more difficult, you know, it makes situations more difficult for you rather than easier. So I don't know if this was that, but I could understand that the Migos would be dealing with some of those kind of things.
And I think also, like, when you're getting money like that and you're on top of the world, you know, you're also feeling yourself and you feel like, you know, you're unstoppable and you could do whatever you want to do.
So that means you don't have to move your car if the ambulance needs to get by? I don't, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, they're probably feeling themselves, you know, and
I mean, I hope that's not the case. That's messed up. I hope it wasn't like, you know, the ambulance has to get by, the red lights are flashing, the horn's going off, and everyone's like, nah, not moving the car, forget it. Somebody's father's having a stroke over there,
like,
grandfather, or whatever it is. Who knows?
Yeah.
But maybe it's not that at all. Because it's an interesting thing is the story happens, and then it makes a headline, and then you don't hear about it again a lot. Right? And because you're just on to something else, and you can try to find and get information or dig it up, but you don't get it because people are more tight-lipped than they ever were before. So you've got this just weird situation where things break, but it only so much then goes on to the next level of reporting with it. It's kind of like you hear a lot of stories, and then they just disappear.
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe they're supposed to. All right, anything else? That's it. That's just Kanye.
Crazy week.
Yeah,
That's been what it is.
Kanye week.
I mean, he went quiet yesterday, except for some little things.
Some
He's
videos.
been quiet today, so he's either going to stay quiet or we're going to be here next week
He's not gonna
talking
say
about
that.
Kanye.
Apparently, he's headed off to Wyoming to finish up all these good music albums. His album, Pusha, I guess.
Imagine they didn't even start recording. They
Right.
got a whole month. You know, hurry the fuck up.
Right.
I
So
have no idea.
you never know. You know?
I don't even know what to make of Wyoming. Like, is he really there?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he did show us in a Charlemagne video that he's into scenery and landscaping and all that,
Right.
and big, you know. So maybe he needs to go
He
away.
walked around some property that he bought, talking about how he's going to be the biggest real estate, whatever, which is exactly Trump in real estate. So, I mean, if you're playing the Trump game and you want to go start your community and build your community and
In
you just put all these
Calabasas,
things in
which is like-
Calabasas,
Right.
you know, you're playing the real estate game of Trump.
Yeah.
So it's similar to each other, but I don't know. Either Kanye and Trump are the same person or they're not. I guess the verdict's still out, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see. You know, we're gonna see the past.
Mm-hmm. They don't have the same color hair anymore, though.
No, they did have the same color hair, but he did cut
They
that
did.
hair, and he went Gonzalez with it, which is just funny.
Right.
Because she threw him shade, right?
Yeah, she wasn't
Yeah.
having. What is it? He
He
wrote
was like,
my hero.
My heroes, and what did she say? She said
She
she
put
did not co-sign it.
the hero of the guy that was in the Waffle House that helped with the situation.
James Shaw Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what was James Shaw Jr. again? Ooh. Like there was just some like.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Shaw Jr. The guy that basically like saved the day at the Waffle House with the shooting.
That was the guy who fought the guy at the Waffle House. He fought the naked guy a couple weeks ago who had the gun, and he got the gun out of his hand and threw it behind the counter. And then he went and said he wasn't a hero, even though he did heroic things.
Yeah.
And then he raised the money for the victims' families of the shooting with the GoFundMe or whatever it was after. So Kanye was saying that he was his hero, that Emma was his hero, and then Emma was saying that guy Shaw was her hero.
Right.
She didn't say that Kanye was her hero back. That's what we're getting.
Shots fired.
Not yet. Not yet. All right, that's it for Moments of Clarity. Number 9, still no Wayno. He sucks. Whatever. But it's the 4 of us, and we'll be back next week.
With our double-digit podcast.
Yeah, our double hit number 10. I don't know what that means. What do we get? Do we get a plaque?
I don't know. Barry's
I don't
buying
know.
lunch,
We
I
gotta-
think.
Yeah, it's my birthday this weekend. Yo, it's my birthday
What?
this weekend. You buy
Oh,
me.
word?
No, what?
Signing off. Let's go.
Oh.
Happy
How old are
birthday,
you?
Barney.
So they were listening to all the R. Kelly and Olivia.